isn't terrible.
Sounds good to me. What about you, Pont? You hear him?
I hear him. He sounds like $1 million to me. No problems here.
I'm outside,
Couple
so
million.
hopefully it's not too. We got a bunch of people walking by, so hopefully not too terrible.
Maybe they can add to the podcast too. Maybe they got some words of wisdom for
Do
us.
it. Let's do it.
Well, we're live on YouTube, Facebook, and in person here. So I'm stoked to have you, Carson. We're going to talk a little bit about. We're going to share some more with the X Factor about your college days and then kind of what you're doing now, how you're growing basketball in the Treasure Valley of Idaho and across the country. Carson works founder and director of HSB Camps, which is one of the largest or fastest growing youth basketball organizations in the country. Is that accurate?
It feels accurate. So
if it feels right, go with it. Let's go.
Yeah, we have about 1,600 players currently in the academy. We have over 120 of our own teams that play internally within our leagues. We got about 4,000 customers in the state of Idaho. I mean, we're growing fast.
And
congratulations!
Congratulations
on one end, and on the other end, thank you as well, because there's so much. You're creating so much positive for these people who attend your camps. You're teaching them valuable lessons. Getting them involved, and that's amazing. So congratulations and thank you at the same time.
No, I appreciate it. We're very blessed. It takes a while to build something like this, so it wasn't always this crazy, but we've been very fortunate and blessed. We got amazing coaches, kids, sponsors, all that kind of stuff. So I appreciate the kind words.
This is special because the style I play, Pont knows a little bit about the system and how up-tempo we are. You would think we were a stall ball team if you were to see some of the stuff that Carson was a part of in college. Carson, one night, get this, X. One night, the guy that's on with us right over here or right over there or wherever he is to you, dropped 34, but he played 13 minutes.
Jeez. So was that – I need some insight on it. Was that just like an onslaught of three-pointers or just getting to the basket whenever you wanted or both or what? Because that's a lot of points.
So it was 10 threes and about – I think it was two of the most unathletic, tired layups you've ever seen in your life. But we played a team that tried to run with us, and that didn't work out well for them. And I just caught fire. And then a couple of our shifts, I think I hit the majority. I think I hit 20 of my points in 2 of our shifts. So it was a pretty quick 20 points of that 34.
I mean, that's got to feel good. And good isn't even the word for it. That's just buckets. That is open.
It was one of those. Yeah, it was one of those moments where you feel the basket's like as big as a lake, and all you got to do is just chuck it and hit water, and it's going in.
I've heard about that, you guys. I've heard about that feeling. I've had it where it's like a small lake. I've never had it where it's like, they're talking about like throwing rocks in the ocean. I mean, I've seen it where it's a little bigger, but 10 threes in one game.
13 minutes.
For real.
Decent. It was decent.
Decent. That's humble. That's a humble way to put it, is decent, because it's amazing.
Average. They scored over the course of the entire season. They averaged 132.4 a game that year at Redlands. Redlands ran the ball. Carson was the second leading scorer. And he only played, like 16, 17 minutes a game or something?
Probably average over the course of, yeah. You could definitely get up shots, though. We shoot threes every 3 to 5 seconds, average like 75 to 80 threes a game. Just come down the court and pull in. 4 guys go to the offensive glass, tip the ball out, shoot again. Yeah.
It sounds like if they would have played you more, too, you would have averaged 150.
No,
let's talk about that.
That's a lot of minutes. That's a lot of minutes.
That's tough to sustain that type of effort for longer than a minute, 45 seconds at a time. But how was that for you, I mean, my first year we had some struggles with it. And actually, I see somebody in the back. She looks in the background drop. We can add her in. So let's do that because she looks pretty friendly. Added. Now, there she is.
Look at her. She does
Hello.
look friendly.
This is the X Factor's girlfriend and my friend. So she's going to join in. She's always got some good insight and information. So welcome, Zoe.
And she looks
Hello.
lovely, too. You look lovely, Zoe. Thank you.
You do look
Nice
lovely.
to see you.
Hi, nice to see you too.
So tell us just about our first year. We struggled a little bit with like guys being like, why am I coming out? Or you had 14 guys on your team that played double-digit minutes. 14 guys that played double-digit minutes. How did coach build that like camaraderie and the chemistry that you guys had in order to score 132 a game?
So it was an evolution for sure. My freshman year was the first year that Coach Smith put the system in place. I don't think any of us really knew. He was a defensive specialist. Like, he was known for slowing the ball down and, tough, tenacious defense. And then all of a sudden he flipped the script and just went to no defense and crazy offense. And so he confused a lot of people. But in the beginning, we may have played 18 or 19 guys the first year. There was a 3-shift component, so we'd sub 5, 5, and 5. So it became very difficult because you could be out of the game for like 6 minutes at a time, where once it started evolving, it was literally we'd go hard a minute and 30, next group would come in a minute and 30, then you'd come in a minute and 30, and it was just back and forth. And then there was kind of a third unit that would come in every once in a while. I think the only struggle that the players had, we all sort of conformed to the style. The only issue was the system was very pre-scripted. So, for example, Brant, like if you were on fire and the system said that in the 4th shift of the game, you were going to be replaced in your unit by this player, they didn't adjust to that. They would put that player in, you'd go to the bench, and so you could be absolutely on fire. And that was the only place that I think guys got really frustrated, was like, I just hit 5 threes and you're going to take me out of the game. Like, don't go off the script, go off what's really happening on the court. So
that's good advice for me to know. And that's something. I'm the one working on the sub chart, and it's fast. It's fast. I mean, and there's guys pick up 3 fouls in the first half, and you're subbing people in and trying to get people to get in the right places. Darren, if you're still listening, Redlands is in beautiful Southern California. He asked if it was in Oklahoma. I don't know. Can you guys see the comments? X, can you see the comments?
Yep, I can see them now. I just had to switch it on the right from private chat to
Let me
comments,
see.
and then I can see everything.
Do you
So
see that
Redlands,
card?
if you drive, for those that don't know where it is, because everyone thinks it's in Northern California, it's actually, if you are in Los Angeles and you get on the 10 freeway, it's about halfway between LA and Palm Springs, just outside San Bernardino, like that area out there.
And now you live in Idaho.
I do. Boise, Idaho.
How is Idaho? How do you like Idaho? I mean, I know you're crushing it there with your basketball business, but what's it like there?
So I was an import from California to Idaho. So I moved here when I was 10. We moved from Los Angeles to Sun Valley. Sun Valley is a far cry from where I am now. But essentially, when I stopped playing, I was living in San Diego. We were running these camps, and we were traveling a lot, and I was paying for a lifestyle that I couldn't really enjoy, and because we were always on the move. And so we were looking at different areas to start an academy, and Boise it was sort of an up and coming city, and there were a lot of opportunities. And so there were a few of us, one Mike Quinney from California, Mike Harris from Texas, and we just decided that Boise was going to be the place. We had done a couple camps here, and we had a good following. It made the most sense. So that was kind of 2011. We made that transition and then never looked back.
Love it. Chicago. Would you ever think about relocating to Idaho if the right opportunity presented itself?
You know what? Always a big opportunist. I never say no to a good opportunity, but as far as me leaving Chicago, I can never say anything bad about Chicago because I think this is probably in my biased opinion, this is the best city in the whole world. But hey, let's say if something crazy came up in Idaho or Antarctica or anywhere, hey, I'm at least gonna hear the guy out, right? I'm at least gonna hear it out. But
a little Boise plug. We are, I think it fluctuates, but we are one of the fastest growing cities in the country. Pretty sure we have one of the top economies in the country. It's become just a hub now, especially in COVID. It's booming. So
that's huge. How about that?
It's hard when I talk to NBA guys and tell them I want them to come to Idaho. A lot of them think that we're in the Midwest somewhere, or we're all live on potato farms, or it's a beautiful city. They tend to enjoy it a lot. It's a nice place.
So what was the biggest difference for you when you made that transition to a completely different place than what you were used to? I mean, what was the biggest difference for you?
I think for me, what was hard is I went from being like, I was 10 at the time, but I was a very good soccer player. I was a terrible basketball player. But went from, being on all-star teams and playing in some of these larger states with a lot of really good players, and then moving to a ski town in the middle of Idaho was a very interesting transition. I was very fortunate that, there were some coaches up there from the professional ranks, from college ranks, that would spend time up there and saw me and saw things in me that I didn't see in myself. So it worked out well. But at the time, my parents, I'm an up and coming athlete, and my parents say, hey, we're going to move to a ski town. I'm thinking, this is a bad idea.
What are we doing?
It's a beautiful place, though. I love it. I was actually there this weekend. It's hard to complain about a place like Sun Valley. It's a pretty phenomenal place. I've taken a lot of NBA guys up there. They love it. So no complaints whatsoever.
Boise is a really cool city. I was over in Boise a couple weekends ago, and it's beautiful, and it is booming. Real estate, I know a lot of us, or most of us, or at least 3/4 of us, I don't know about Carson as much, but we're interested in real estate. And Boise is a hot market right now because, like you were saying, the economy is thriving. There's a lot of good stuff happening in Boise right now.
So I married very well, and my wife is actually one of the largest real estate. My wife is one of the largest real estate developers in the state, so she is in the right business. I tell everyone I have a hobby and she has a real job. Like, I play with kids all day and she's out in the dirt, really making, she's the breadwinner for sure.
She's making moves, and she's way better looking than you are, Carson.
Way better looking, smarter. She's definitely smarter. She keeps getting degrees. I don't know if it's just to keep proving that she's smarter than I am, but she is God definitely was looking out for me when he connected me to my wife. So
I would agree. I would agree. I mean, I wish I could argue with you, but no
argument.
She is smart. You're smart too for putting a ring on it, man. Well, What's up, Bill? Ref Bill, my guy. I see you dropping comments if you're watching and you have questions or you want to just chime in. If you're watching on the Facebook or the YouTube, or I guess those would be the options you have to be watching live, or you could be watching this on replay. But we do a quote of the show. So every time we come on, we look to ask our guest if they have a quote or a saying that has helped motivate you or inspire you. So you can take this a couple of different ways. Bill, I believe I have met Carson, possibly. He's a big guy in the basketball world, been around, works with a lot of NBA guys. Bill's the coordinator for my league or my tournament that I run in Vegas. So he's a referee. Will the Thrill, I see you.
Will the Thrill. Ooh, I'm so happy to see him in the comments. I miss him today.
So give
He's
us,
here.
so with that, do you have a quote or anything? I know we're kind of just throwing this out to you, but give us, our viewers or us, something that has motivated you throughout life.
So I thought, well, when you first asked me about the quote, I thought, I didn't know the direction you wanted me to go with this, but instead of a quote, I thought about a saying that we use in our academy. So HSB, a lot of people don't know what it means. And it's ironic because when you stand in our big NBA facility, it's written in 18-foot. It's an 18-foot center logo that says hard work, sacrifice, belief. So it came about, if you ask about that, most athletes, how did you get to where you did? I worked hard, I sacrificed, I believed in myself. And so, a saying that we use a lot, especially with the kids, is just from our own experiences, you need to train, work, develop like someone is always watching you. I think, if you ask most athletes, and I would pose this to you too, I think all of us remember the moment when we met that person or that mentor or that coach or that, individual that changed our life, that opened the door, that connected us to a certain school or a certain program or a certain job opportunity. And when you look back, the one thing that you cannot determine, it's not like I could say, on April 12th, 2021 at 4:00 in the afternoon, I'm going to meet this person. You don't know when those moments are going to happen. And so, the one thing I think that kids take for granted, a lot of these people take for granted, is you never know who's in the gym. You never know who's watching you. You never know who may be there that knows someone that, I'll give you an example. My professional basketball career started in a little church gym in Ketchum, Idaho, which, I happened to be in the same room as a guy named Andrew Sullivan, who was the captain of the British basketball team, a guy who became a mentor of mine. And he saw me shoot and just said, I've never seen anyone shoot like that. Who are you? Where are you from? Where did you play? And he was the one that opened the door to England for me. And, if that day I had gone in kind of like, whatever, we're just playing in a little court, I'm just going to mess around, I'm not going to go hard, does that opportunity happen? The answer is, I don't know. And so for a lot of players, like, if you always have a mentality that someone important is watching you, or someone is always evaluating you, you're always, when that moment happens, you always be ready, and you don't worry about, am I doing what I need to do when the right people are watching? Because you're always doing it. So that's sort of a saying, a mentality that we try to instill in our kids. And because the reality is, you don't know when you're going to meet that person. You don't know when you're going to meet that company that wants to sponsor you, or that coach that wants to give you a scholarship, or that, team that wants to pick you up, etc.
Love that. Always train, because it's so true. You never know. And that's why, and I would add that it's not just training, it's all things. Show up every day like you never know who's watching, because you never know who's going to be watching this replay, because this will live for as long as the internet sticks around on the YouTube TV or the YouTube website. So bring your best every day. And like for your example, you could really shoot it, so you might have still had the opportunity to play professionally, but that opened that door by being ready, and not, when that opportunity comes, you can't go back and try to get ready for it. So I love that.
Well, I mean,
someone's watching.
Think of this as well. You never know. Like, a lot of our coaches, professional players, keeping in shape, they're here for the summer. You have no idea when you're going to get a phone call. You don't know what team is going to have a need, and they call you and you're out of shape, and you're like, well, give me a week and I'll get ready. Some of these guys literally on an airplane within 5 hours going somewhere. You get called up to the NBA. You can't say, hey, I'm not ready right now. You got to give me a little bit. So that mentality is something we really hammer home and push on our kids for sure.
So if there is somebody out there watching, I'm ready. I've been working on my jump shot. I might not be in as good a shape as I once was, but I'm ready. And I think I doubt that call's coming. But if there's any NBA teams watching this that want to take a chance I mentioned it to these guys earlier. I did have 11 points in my college career. So if you're looking, X,
Never know.
that's
You know
10
what?
more than you, buddy.
I'm here. I have a whopping total of one point in my college career, and I've shared the video probably as many times as I can. I'm sure people are tired of it by now, but I was showing everybody just to make sure everybody saw it. But I'm actually just coming out of college basketball, so this is the ideal time actually for NBA teams to look at me. So I'm completely available. I'm completely open. All 30 teams. I have no preference. Anybody, come on. I'm right here. I'm one phone call away. Here it is.
Hey, whether it's 1 point or it's 50 points, you are an elite class of people that can say they played basketball in college, which is not something that a lot of people can say. And statistically, it's not something that a lot of people have done. So,
yeah, one thing I'll definitely never take for granted. And it's such a blessing, too. Like the past 4 years, I couldn't imagine college without the college basketball factor of it. Because as you all know, as a student athlete, basically your whole college experience is consumed by the college athlete lifestyle. And I love it. I love it. I wouldn't ever have it any other way.
well, think of the friends, the connections, when you're growing up playing basketball, you're just thinking like, man, I like playing the sport. It's fun. But to travel the world and to see the country and to meet the people, I mean, it's all from a ball and a hoop is pretty amazing.
That it is. X, what do you got for us today, man? Drop some knowledge.
I got a nice one today. Excellent quote. Some beautiful knowledge for everybody. I said, you are never too old to set another goal or to dream a new dream. Which, by the way, before I touch on that, does everybody here, do you guys dream every night? Or at least dreams you can remember every night?
Not that I can remember.
I talk about this with Zoe all the time because Zoe dreams every night. I dream, I would say dreams that I can remember maybe twice a week, maybe 3 times a week tops, if that. So cool. But anyways, let me get back to my quote. You're never too old. I don't care if you're 10, if you're 20, if you're 30, if you're 50. It doesn't matter. You can always set that next goal. And, when you're 10 years old, maybe it's to, dunk on an 8-foot rim or something, When you're 20 years old, maybe it's to get to the NBA. When you're 30 years old, maybe it's to turn my, $100,000 a year business into $1 million a year business. Whatever the case may be, you are never too old. So if you think, hey, my prime is past or it's too late for me to do this or that, that's one of the things that I hate hearing the most. It's too late. I mean, maybe you missed one opportunity, but you have to be ready and create your own luck and create your own opportunity and get back into a place where you want to be and put yourself where you want to be. So if you have a goal, if you have a dream, pursue it because you're not too old. You're never too old. And that's the way I look at it.
You're not as old as Carson and I yet, but I still dream a lot of dreams. I still definitely have new goals and set new goals and have new dreams. Mine, I'm going to scroll it in 3, 2, 1. Happiness is not by chance, but by choice. Happiness is not by chance, but by choice. That was one that hit me today that I saw or that I thought about was because some people think it's just happens or it's, oh, you're so lucky, Brant, that you're always happy. And it's like, what? Bad stuff happens to me too, but I choose to be happy and I choose to try to see the best in things. And it's not just by chance, it takes practice. And I think happiness and, joy and having a zest for life. I love that word zest because Z is a word that we don't use enough, right? Zoe. I think I just kind of like the way that word zest, having a zest for life and a passion and showing up every day like this is the best day. And happiness is not by chance, but by choice. So that's what I'm bringing today. It's pretty simple, but it's not just by chance. It's by choice. And I choose to be happy. Zoe, we're going to surprise you. Do you have anything that you would like to share with this audience?
Ooh, I did not come prepared today.
But I know I'm going to ramble for about another 15 seconds while you gather yourself and compose yourself and let your mind think of some quote. It can be as simple as Nike did it. Nike did it with 3 words. Just do it.
I might have something. Give me 1 second.
Thinking or Googling. Sometimes I Google the answer to questions when I'm called on.
I have a whole like archive.
When I was in college.
I have a whole archive of quotes.
Love it. As do I. So give us one. You can read through them real quick to see if there's anything that really sticks out to you. And then we're going to see if there's anybody in the audience. If you're in the audience and want to drop a comment quote. Otherwise, we're going to wrap it up pretty soon because Carson's crushing it over there in Idaho and got tons of stuff going on. But we do appreciate your time, Carson. And I can't believe
I appreciate it.
He told me that this was his first podcast. And I was like, dude, like you got the backdrop. Can you tip the thing up so we can see the top of your show them the top of this? Look at that. Look at that. Look at that guy.
That is so cool. That thing is awesome.
Yeah.
So this is a tent? I'm assuming this is a tent outside?
Yeah,
He's
so
outside.
when COVID
That is nice.
when COVID hit, we have, this is one of 3 facilities that we have, but we had to reinvent our entryway. And so Toyota, we're actually sponsored by Toyota nationally, and they gave us some creative allowances to make some cool things. So we created this. We've done a lot of stuff like with padding in our gyms with coaches and players infused in the background, kind of black and white. So similar to what you see in the tent. And we try to spotlight our kids a lot. Like you can't see it, but the table that I'm sitting at has a tablecloth of our staff. Can I move this and I'll show you?
Do it, man. I think it's going to work.
All right.
We did see your good looking mug there there we go. There's
That
the
is
crew.
nice.
That is nice, man. I love
That
the
is
color
official.
scheme. Black and red.
Yeah,
I like
but
it.
we brand a lot of, I don't know, you can hold on. I was always thinking of her quote.
Yeah, man. Walk us around in there. Ooh.
I got to come in there and get a workout in. It's a nice gym.
Wow.
So is that that divider is like halfway?
Correct.
Nice.
So that is we actually installed that ourselves. I think if the powers that be saw how we constructed it, I think we probably would have violated some rules. But it was we actually built these gyms ourselves, which is crazy. But we have a floor guy that we work with, a guy named John Osborne, great guy that's helped us out tremendously, and just a few of our staff members. And we've built 3 facilities in the last 2 years, kind of with our own sweat equity. And I would say, Brant, you've seen the photos, like they rival. There aren't too many gyms in the country that look like them. So
legit.
Yeah.
Definitely legit. I see. We'll give Bill a little shout out. You can't win without playing.
Yes, sir.
You
100%
can't
true.
win without playing. What's that mean to you, X?
Well, in the literal sense, it means that you literally cannot win. If you do not play, I guarantee that you will not win. But in a more metaphorical sense, I mean, you have to put forth your 100% effort in order to win. And if you don't try, you definitely won't win. If you try, you might not win. But if you don't try, you definitely will not win. So that's like the barrier to entry right there of success, is putting forth effort, doing something to create the life that you want, or at least reach the end goal. You can just not do anything.
You can't do nothing and expect to win. And I there's a lot of things I really love about you, X, but one of them is that you know the difference between literal and metaphorical and figuratively, because that's one of the things that just drives me crazy is when people say, "Oh, I'm so hungry. I could like literally eat a horse right now."
Like, no, you literally could not. You figuratively, metaphorically
you couldn't literally eat a horse right now. I don't care how hungry you are. Like that's not, you literally, maybe figuratively, maybe like metaphorically, you could eat a lot and a horse is big. But anyways, I digress. But I think that's right. You can't, if you don't play, there's no chance you can win. But if you do play and you play for a really bad team, then your chances of winning are slim. but it's kind of like they say in Dumb and Dumber. So you're telling me there's a chance. Maybe it's 1 in a million, but there might be a chance. Zoe, we're going to swing it or up or down or around to wherever you are. Give us what you got us.
All right, so I had a quote, but then something came to my mind even better, which has actually been on my mind all day. So it's just to simply show up. And that kind of goes along with, Carson, what you were saying about, train like people are watching. You never know who's going to be there. As long as you show up, the opportunity will present itself there. Like, no matter how you're feeling that day, just show up, make the progress that you need to make, and you'll start to see the results a lot quicker than you expect.
No matter how you feel, get up, dress up, show up, but never give up.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. Love it. Zoe, bringing the heat. Good job. You know what? Because I know you're full of information and wisdom. Would you mind sharing the quote that you found in your hidden chest of quotes?
Yes.
And then we'll wrap it up and let Carson roll out. But share with that one too. Share that one.
All right. This one I had was, how you do one thing is how you do everything. So you do something, whether it be like perfectly or you do something cutting corners. The first time you do something is an occurrence. The second time you do something, it becomes a habit. So, choose carefully.
I love that, because I say that one all the time. How you do anything is how you do everything. And you worded it so well. If you cut a corner on one thing, you're going to cut a corner in another. And I use that with our players at Pacific all the time, because they say, no, well, I'm going to work hard. I missed that assignment, but I'm going to work hard. If I can't trust you to do the easy stuff, how am I going to trust you when shit's hard, right? When stuff's difficult. You can't do the easy stuff, and you expect me to trust you when things get tough or things get hard. How you do anything is how you do everything. And I'm so glad that we asked that, because that is important. And Carson, we appreciate you, man. I've always valued your friendship and mentorship sometimes, and sometimes hopefully I can offer you advice, but more times I'm the one tapping into your knowledge, because you definitely know what you're doing. To build what you've built, man, is pretty amazing. With all the NBA guys you have working with you and all the professional guys, you've built something pretty special. And I've worked your camps. I've been a part of them. I've seen the hard work and the sacrifice and the belief that it's taken for you to build 3 facilities and thriving. So I love seeing the pictures of you and your pup, your dog, and your wife, and I'm glad to hear
we have 5 dogs.
You have 5?
We have 5. We actually had 6, and unfortunately we had to put one down during quarantine. But yeah, we have 5 dogs. We have 2 Frenchies, we have 2 Amstaffs, and we have a golden retriever named Teddy Buckets, who probably he's got the same energy as the X Factor over there.
That is tough. That's a bold statement, but I believe it.
Teddy Buckets.
I bet you that golden retriever has energy.
He loves basketball. I can't bring him here because he would run on the court and steal the ball, and he loves. I've never seen a dog will watch games, and he sits there and he actually will watch the television. Like, he knows what's going on in the basketball game.
Tommy, you said it's Buckets?
Teddy Buckets.
Teddy Buckets. I love it.
Teddy Bucket. With a name like that, he has to have some kind of basketball IQ and awareness.
Exactly.
Well, that's good stuff, man. Well, I know we could tell stories all day, scoring 172 in a game. I've never personally played in a game when my team scored 172. I don't know if you have, Pont.
I certainly have not. I've only played the system one time in my life. It was in high school. And that was definitely the most points that we ever scored in a game.
You guys ran and pressed the whole game?
It was so fun. Only once that I ever do it. I think I was a sophomore or a freshman, but it was so fun.
If you don't like playing defense and you like shooting, it's the perfect system.
I think everybody likes those 2 things, actually. Not playing defense and shooting as much as possible. I think that's every basketball player's dream.
We didn't we intentionally didn't play defense. Like, we would get out of the way and let you go to the basket. We didn't quite do what Grinnell did, which was like they'd send 5 guys to the other side of the court. They wouldn't have anyone even on the defensive side of the court, but we didn't do that. But yeah,
Wild.
That is insane.
Crazy. I really appreciate you guys having me on here.
Your experience in
This
the
is
system
awesome.
in one word. Last question. Your experience in the system in 1 to 2 words. How would you describe your experience?
I would say it was life-changing. So being a 6'8" shooter, if I had gone to a traditional, I had no idea they were going to play the system, but if I had gone to a traditional college, I probably would have been like a 3-4. It allowed me to play kind of that 2-3 position and shoot, which got me looks beyond college. So I certainly can't complain. I would say it was life-changing. I mean, there were times where it was tough, and like anything, you overcome adversity, but it was definitely a life-changing experience. I got to travel. We took a tour through Europe. I met guys that I've stayed connected to for a long time. A lot of the guys are still playing, coaching. So it was life-changing for sure.
That's a great answer. I love to hear that. Life-changing. We're going to put that up on the screen. Carson, thank you so much, man. Great to catch up. And
next time you're in Boise, you got to come out here. You got to come check out the gym.
6th. I booked my flight today, Carson. So you better not
bring the X Factor. He can come get his shots up.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. That's an awesome gym.
Anytime.
I'd love to.
No, you should.
I will be there.
It didn't look like that 2 years ago. It looked pretty brutal. The before and afters on our gyms are the people that we work with, like our partners. They come in the gyms and they look at them and go, "Do you know what you're doing?" And a few months later, they understood. We knew a little bit.
Come out looking official. That looks excellent. That really does look awesome. So kudos for that.
Appreciate it.
Vision become a reality.
Thank you guys again. Best of luck. Nice to meet you, Zoe. And I'll see you in May.
I'll see you in May, Carson.
All right. Take care.
Right.
You're the man.
Awesome.
Appreciate it.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
That was
Thank
great.
you.
Bringing the heat. That was awesome, man. What a good guy.
Sweet.
Yeah.
No, that was a really, really good dude. Real knowledgeable dude. And I like what he's got going on over there too. It's good camps.
He's got three facilities that he's crushing it. And they have, did you hear those numbers? Like when he was rattling off, like, I think he said 120 in-house teams, and just crazy what he's doing. And the real estate game, his wife's but Boise real estate is hot. If you're watching and you don't know, and you're looking for where's the hottest market, Boise is definitely one of the hottest markets in the country for real estate right now. But it was awesome. It was good. It was great. We're gonna be back. I think we're kind of going random now, so we're dropping these on Facebook. We're posting them on the YouTube, and the X Factor will be in Vegas. That's the word.
It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be incredible.
Ref Bill just said, "Is X coming to the exclusive?"
That's the plan, baby. I'm gonna be out there. It's gonna be awesome, and we're gonna have an excellent event.
If you're watching now and you don't know about the exclusive, I question a lot of things in your life. But the main one is, what are you doing end of July? Because anybody in the basketball world, everybody condenses and consolidates into Vegas. It's a weekend where there's coaches from all over the country. And we will be there at the Westin Lake Las Vegas. 3 courts, side by side, on Lake Las Vegas, on the lake. So you got paddle boarding. You can take those little paddle boats. Like, how romantic is that?
The opportunities are literally endless. There's so much to do.
So much to do. If you're into like the spa, there's a spa. It's called the Westin Lake Las Vegas Spa and Resort. 3 basketball courts in the ballroom, multiple pools and slides and lounges for the adults. No gambling, no smoking on site. You're a half hour from the strip and I think that's great. People are like, oh, it sucks. You're not on the strip. And I'm like, good kids can get in trouble in Las Vegas.
Yes. That is the one place in the world. I'm sure there's multiple places, but that's the number one place I would say for good kids to get in trouble.
It's
and bad
not
kids.
Nicknamed Sin City. It's not nicknamed Sin City because it's full of nuns and angels. Nuns and angels? I don't know where I pulled that out of. But it's called Sin City for a reason. So even good kids, even kids that are quality people with great families might get a 99-cent margarita or find themselves without any lunch money because they found out that you can put quarters in the slot machine. And sometimes you win, but more times than you win, you lose. There's a reason those casinos are so big and fancy. Bill, appreciate you watching or listening and watching. And any final parting shots? I think Thursday we'll be back on.
Yep, Thursday we'll be back. We'll be back
Thursday. So if you're watching now, you can always tune in. And you can watch this again live on YouTube or on Facebook. I think these are archived on Facebook. Parting shots. What do you got for us, X?
I just want to say, dream big, set big goals, and your life is going to be so much better for it. And thank you all once again for tuning in because it's awesome.
Thank you for watching. Thank you, everyone. Zoe, we're going to kick it to you. Parting shots. What do you got for us?
Show up.
Show up.
Yes,
and you did today, and you brought the heat. You brought it.
Thank you.
That is half. I'd say that's even more than half the battle is showing up. You know, like sometimes you don't feel good, but you show up. Well, not this in the world we're living in now. If you don't feel good, please stay at home. Right? Like, don't bring whatever you got into what I'm doing. So if you don't, but in a typical year, sometimes you don't feel like working out, you work out. Sometimes you don't feel like showing up to practice, you show up to practice. Sometimes you don't feel like making that phone call. Sometimes you don't feel like making that TikTok video, but you show up, you do your best, and you never give up. And so showing up, we appreciate you showing up today. Get up, and show out, says Ref Bill. Right? Get in where you fit in. And with that, we're going to go ahead and sign off or figure out how we can do that. But thank you for joining. X.
You know how it goes.
You're dating out of your league too. So
appreciate it, boss. You too.
You definitely are. I'm glad you shot your shot because what you got, you got. And
thanks, man.
Dang, what rhymes with those words? Hot. Shoot your shot. You got what you got, and dang, she's hot. She's hot, right?
Thanks, man.
All right, you guys. It was real. It was fun. It was real fun. We'll see you down the road. Signing off.
Adios, everybody.
And we're clear.